Why can't I tap it? I'm walking. Oh my God. Whoops. Whoops. Whoops, my Somali people. I'm trying to invite Black God. Mama. Birds are feeding today. I feel good. Dun, 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 dun. Nick, wow. Nick, wow. The medicine man. What? Whoa, look at that car. Is that a barbecue set? Look at this shit right here. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if I'll get it. There's a barbecue set on that thing, dude. You guys gonna go fishing on the wharf right now. Oh, I'll bring it around. I come to meditate on the beach today. Have arguments on the beach today. White people and surfing. Oh. The birds are out today. They're out here to feast. Out here to feast, my brother. Okay. I'm gonna find a spot on the beach. What's new, Nigual? What's new? I want to get up there. Let's see if I can sneak my way up on there. Might be best.
What do you do, fam?
What's up, fam? Did you come on? What happened? I guess you can't just come on anymore. You have to get invited. What's up, Famo? What's the word on the block?
Who's in here?
It's just me and you, buddy.
Oh shit. Me, you, and the plug.
What's the plug bringing us?
Oh, you know, little this and that.
Oh, I wanted to jump on that. Is it the medicine plug, or is it the street corner plug?
It's all medicine, family.
Little mix of the two.
I only fuck
right?
with plants, you know. I only fuck with plants.
Oh, it is kind of open. I hope they don't yell at me. I'm gonna sit on this lifeguard thing. Oh, yeah. I was asking a friend of mine today about the medicine, and he says he's growing it right now. He says it'll be ready in 2 weeks to harvest.
Oh no shit. Oh, you talking about the funny dudes?
That's psilocybin. So
yeah, the fun guys.
the fun guys, the fun little what do the white dudes call it? The elf machines.
Yeah. I forget his name.
The elf. Terrence.
Yeah, there you go, Terrence.
Terrence McKenna.
The pseudo shaman.
Terrence. You know it. What's up, Bobby?
What's up, man?
What up, Bobby?
What up? Where's that?
How's it hanging? How's it? This is Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, California. Kind of central Bay Area, Central Coast. Yeah, we got the boardwalk all the way up over there. You can see it. Cali, baby. It's a little on the gloomy day today. You know, we had in the winter. Am I lagging, guys? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
No, I can hear you.
You don't hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. Unfortunately, it's raining over here too.
Okay. Oh, you close? You closer than the East Coast. Arizona's not too far. It's usually hot over there, though, right? So this is a good little break. Good little refreshing.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not from here. I don't think anybody out here is from here for the most part.
They're all transients.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard about Seattle, Washington. Most people out there are not even from out there.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
shit, I just noticed that they got Tyreek Nasheed on the leash.
Yeah, what do you think about Tyreek being on the leash? Do you think we should let him off the leash, or do you think we should still hold him tethered to the master?
Nah, he can stay on there.
Yeah, I was just on another panel too. Fendi, have you guys seen Fendi's panel?
Nah.
African brother. He's pretty funny.
I come across him once or twice.
He's pretty funny, man. Yeah. He has a nice little setup, you know. He has his prompt. He's got his video. I ain't ready to put my face all out there yet, but he's got the mic. He's got a nice little, aesthetic going on, and he's pulling in the numbers.
Yeah.
He'd be talking about the same stuff though. It's just funny because he's so animated.
You said you was Mexican, right?
Yeah, you got
Mexican and Ethiopian or something like that.
Okay, Eritrean to be precise, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, brother. Yes.
That's interesting, man. I've never seen nobody with that mix.
I know. I
right?
thought the same thing.
Yeah, I've only seen one other person. I mean, besides my sister, but another person on TikTok, and it's funny because he also didn't grow up with his Eritrean side, so he only knew Spanish and English, the same as me. It was weird, man. And I swear I added him, but I don't think he followed me back. That was the only time I've
I
ever met
heard
someone exactly like me, like same background, same everything. Yeah.
I heard Nipsey Hussle
What was that?
was half Black American. I heard Nipsey Hussle was half Black American. I thought he was full Eritrean though.
Right, right. He damn sure looks like it.
Nipsey
His brother too. They look, yeah, they look straight
yeah,
up
that
Eritrean. But I guess
I
I
think
think it's
somebody
his
was
mother's
lying when they
side that
said
is when they said that.
I think that's a lie
Yeah,
because
just
both
the Black Americans are like, oh, we want to claim him. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
think I think I read it on Google though. I fact checked it. I think Google confirmed that his mother was Black American. But yeah,
Oh really?
but yeah, yeah. I might have to fact check that again. But because it's really hard to tell. I mean, but just by looking at him, you think he's East African, Eritrean. But either way, whatever side of his parents that they got the best of the features. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I bet that's a rare mix though, cause like I don't know. It seemed like the East Africans really don't fuck with us like that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And a lot of East Africans that are Americans, like straight fuck with Black Americans. No, there isn't much more there. I think it's kind of like the same thing with Africans in Africa that like they mind their business. It's not that they're not fucking with you. It's just they mind their business. They do their own thing. And it's their offspring. It's
Stay in
like
their
their
own lane.
kids. Yeah, they stay in their own. It's like their kids though that are born in America. They fuck heavy with music, culture. Obviously not all of them. Obviously, there's going to be some bad apples that got called African booty scratcher and got called all the things that they call African people here in America. So they're going to have, and
But
hopefully
man, shit, we call each other that shit. You know,
I know. Oh, I
we
definitely
call.
know.
I've been
But
called an African booty
mhm.
scratcher too.
And it's all fun and games, It's all fun and games until it comes to a reality that we're dealing with now, where we have to separate ourselves and have an identity. And with all that self-hate, growing up, trying to, and it's just part of indoctrination. I think it's part of being an American. Even us Mexicans, even us Africans that are born here, look down on our relatives and brothers and sisters that are from the homeland. You know what I mean? So that shit happens
Yeah, some people
everywhere.
do it.
No, yeah, most and not always to self hate or not always to, like just we laugh about it, we joke about it. So it's a little dig that we do.
Assalamu alaikum.
Everybody, wa alaikum salam. I exaggerated that right there. But what's up, brother?
What's up?
Yesterday was crazy, man. You guys are crazy with the mod powers, man.
Man, we just fixing your from all the chaos.
We had a legit Arab here last time, bro. That fool was hilarious. Yeah, but what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think
You talking
about
about
yeah,
what's was it Splash?
Splash? Yeah, it was Splash.
That man ain't
The
no Arab.
Arabs. So people were saying that the like Africa.
That
Okay,
man
so
was
kind of Bobby, kind of like on what you're talking about. Like East Africans don't fuck with West Africans or don't fuck with Black. A lot of the rhetoric, and I can't confirm or deny. Obviously there's some mixing going on, but not every East African is mixed with Arabs. We got indigenous Africans, East Africans. We got We got ones that are Cushitic, that are mixed with certain languages, that mixes that happened thousands and thousands of years ago, you know. And then there's some
Yeah.
that are claim not to have that mix, that claim to be indigenous of that land. I mean, look how diverse Africa is. That's why I can believe some of it. Well, we come in all shapes and colors there. But you know, for the most part, there is a certain look, you know, to a specific regions, and I give you that,
So
you know.
yeah. So yeah, that's the truth. Black people do come in all shapes and colors. And I was having this argument with this biracial guy. He tried to say that everybody that's light skinned, if you light skinned and you black, then that means you mixed. And I was like, bruh, my wife is African and she's not mixed. I said, well, what part of Africa does she come from? I said, she's from South Africa. Oh, there you have it right there. She's colored. I'm like, no, the fuck she's not. If she's mixed with two different African tribes, the Petty and Zulu. Like, you know.
Right,
So,
brother. Exactly.
and then I mean, it's just aggravating, bro. A lot of people don't understand
I
that
hear you, bro.
black people have been coming in all shapes and colors before white people even existed. The white race is only like 10,000 years old.
Yeah, facts.
We like 200,000 years old. Yes.
Right. I don't, Nagwal, can you confirm how long the black race? But yeah, I believe that, Bobby. Some say only 6,000 years they've been alive. But go ahead and chime in. What's up, lady? Chime in, guys. We don't want to take over the conversation.
What's up, Lady J? How you doing, love?
I'm doing good.
Nice to see you, as always.
You too, same, simplified too.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Oh God. What happened, Vibes? What happened last night with the phone? It cut off.
Yeah, my phone was about to die, so I just cut it off early before because I wanted to save the live. So if the phone just dies, it doesn't quite
It was
save the
funny though,
live.
huh?
So I have to end it early. Oh yeah. We started talking about the Somali couples, Liberian couples. I was trying my best to even though I couldn't talk, I was trying my best to make it funny.
Man, it was
Yeah, you guys
really
missed the
funny.
conversation.
I was trying to mute, but I couldn't mute. I was just dying in the back, just laughing. It was just so funny. That was a good one.
Yeah, we had a Somali brother up here, and then we had a Rooftop, African brother. But they were just clowning each other because of one, same thing they were saying. They were saying, I'm gonna mute you, Jay, because you got a lot of background noise. But these brothers were just going hard. I mean, they were kind of like going at each other, saying the same rhetoric, like you not African, you East African, you a Arab, blah 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 blah. And then he was saying, look, brother, your people are ugly. You guys don't like each other, and playing into these racist kind of tropes that us African people do amongst ourselves. But they were doing it in a light way, kind of like they respected each other, but they were going in on each other, So I couldn't tell at first, but then, they started getting along while they were kind of like, going back and forth. And I was like, all right, that's pretty legit. If people can respect each other and still dig at each other, I guess there's some kind of commonality,
Yeah. That's what I feel like towards Black. Like I always felt that for Black. When he and I started going at it, I could always come back to a common ground with him. But the only time I felt that common ground with Mansa was that day that he was doing Sanford and Son, preaching Sanford and Son. I was like, man, that was some funny shit.
But what day was that?
Remember when Jay Money was on? He was like, Allah and all that stuff, and then Mansa came up and
that's who was on. That's who was on.
It's always Jay Money for some reason. It's funny.
Yeah, Jay Money. So he's religious, he's a Muslim and he's proud Somali. So It's all that. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on. You know, people are attacking him because of his religion, and other people are attacking him for being East African. You know, so
You know who I like?
I can see it. I can see it.
I like that Walker guy. That Walker, the
Yeah.
New Zealander. I forget the indigenous name, but he and I talk privately now. He's a dope cat, man. I like that guy a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we on FBAs today or what?
Yeah, that guy. That was like one of the first guys I met through another Richard brother.
Yeah, he's genuine.
I don't know. I'm just trying to feel it out. You know.
I like that.
What do you want?
Walker's so tied to.
What do you want to talk about, Nagua? Should I?
Oh hell no! I'm not. Shit, I wouldn't even know what to do on my own live yet. Oh what? What? Are you typecasting me?
We'll keep this one up.
You typecasting me?
I don't know, man. I'm just filling you out right now. No homo. We're gonna try this one. This one, you know, this one's a little. This is everybody that's indigenous. All right, so no one can go after each other. This is pretty neutral one right here.
Yeah, it is pretty neutral.
Oh, yeah. And then if they start arguing, just go back to these highlights. These you know, what ceremonies do you practice? Do you have a story? An origin story?
Don't you leave me in charge of the live again?
Nah, I won't. This time I'm here.
Bro, that last one.
No, but I'm saying for next time. Next time, I see you kind of I know. I see you freaking out. Like, what am I gonna do? Or how can I? Hey, guys.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, man.
Man,
it was. I think most of it was like, there's no stab against it, but Amadou Khan. When people get on there like that, and they just start yelling over. I don't want to like take people off.
Mansa's one of those people. Mansa's one of those where he just starts. I mean, and what it is like everybody's just so passionate, you know.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're gonna run with the show, and even though they're funny and stuff, it's like, come on, man, have some kind of like some order. Like, let people speak. You know, you ain't got to be right every time. You know. We got to be a little vulnerable. Listen to people.
You know, my whole thing is I want to hear what people say, and especially if I get a recording of it, I want everything they say from front to back. Now, I'm not trying to cut people off or not find out what they think, because later on I'm going to cut it up. You know.
Right. Yeah, and later on when you re-listen to the lives, you know, you hear everybody talking over each other. You can't even hear what's going on. So
yeah. I don't care if they agree with me or not. I still want to hear what they say.
Right. Exactly, brother. Exactly.
Typically, if you listen to what they say, you can, you know, like that's what I need to hear everything that they say so I can verify it and then make a post about it later. Otherwise, if I don't hear what they say, I can't do my work.
Exactly. We need a full audio transcript of this shit. Give me a second.
Who we got in this joint here? English, 10:35 mark. No more dummy 5.
You at home?
What's up, bro?
Oh, I said you're at home?
No, I just got through seeing the plug. I'm just chilling at the park.
Oh my God. I just
you know what?
tobacco.
I didn't know we could co-host a live. That's pretty dope. Little option there.
I know.
You ever co-hosted a live?
I've had. Well, no. It's always those people that It's like I don't know. They're trying to do the game. You know, that game where they try to get they're going up against each other. But let me
Oh,
try it.
okay.
Let me try right here. Let me see what it's about. Because it might be another option, like where it's like a real co-host. You know what I mean?
Well,
Not
I saw
those
it the
like.
other day. If I start a live and you start a live, we can co-host with each other.
Oh, okay. All right. You want to try that? You want to get out and then send me an invite, or I send you
Well,
an
no, I
invite?
want to try it at some point. I'm not prepared to do it right now, but at some point, I'd like to,
Yeah.
like we said, write it out, make up, something that's organized, and then we can both
You're right.
launch it, and that would be like really cool. I think that'd be super cool, man.
All right. Let's do that. I know I've been telling you we are going to do it. So I that's my word to you, man. We're going to do it.
Yeah, I just feel like it would be cool, like because I
Prepared.
still haven't
Yeah.
done it yet by myself, so it'd be nice to have somebody to
I
coach
got
a little.
you. I got you, bro.
You've given me so much
Anybody?
insight on lives as it is already, man. I can't thank you enough, man.
Don't make me blush, man. Don't make.
It was so needed, man. Like I know when I go up, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable than.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a great job co-hosting. You're doing great. You're doing great, man. It comes with experience. You just got to keep. And then you got to just. I wish I can learn how to do the goddamn these right here. These live shows. Let me try it right now because I want to see.
Sure.
I want to see how I can like give you time, and then okay, I want to shorten your time, and I also want to switch back to me. So it looks like the host can always overtalk whoever's on the show time right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
But I see that I have to limit your time or give you more time. I want to know how to fuck with that. So let me see.
That's what I'm going to need. I've never seen a showtime on my option, so.
Let me see.
There's been so many times where everyone's over talking that I've wanted to hit showtime, but I couldn't because I don't have that option.
Have that option, yeah. So I can shrink you, countdown. Okay, countdown. So when I do the countdown, it says exit the live show, and that's not what I want to do. But I want to see. Let's see. I go back to this, and then end show. No, it says skip intervals, wrap up. Oh, okay. It says wrap up. Let's see what it does when it says wrap up and the Gauls performance. So, it just wraps it up, like literally. Okay, so that's not it. How to run a show. Okay, here goes. Once you start a show, guests will take turns performing and engage with viewers. Set a time limit for each guest to perform. Drag and drop to adjust the guest order. Oh, there we go.
Oh, shit.
New guests will perform lastly by default. Okay. Guests will get points when they get new followers, gifts, and likes. Top guests will be displayed on the list when the show ends. Introverts are allowed between performers. Okay, so let me see. Well, why doesn't it give me those gauge?
Maybe because I'm the only cat up here.
I would need somebody else to pop up to. Yeah. That could be it.
Somebody's up there now. I mean, somebody's in on it.
Because the only options it's giving me is to mute you.
Oh, you me and you.
Wes is up here. What's up, Wes? I'm just trying to figure this live show thing out. Let's start it again.
Yo,
lady, can you come up just so we can try this?
I got bars. I got bars for days, family.
Let me see. Oh, auto accepts allowed. Okay, so I don't want that auto accepts because everybody just be hopping up here. Oh, I got to change it in settings. So where's settings? Oh,
yeah, I thought you were familiar
voice
with all
restart
this
points after disconnection. Manage moderator. All right. Everyone allow guests settings. I guess I have to do it on my main settings to not let anybody up here. Just out of willy-nilly, because now it just accepts that anybody that shows up. It was cool for a while, but when we have good conversations and then somebody butts in and just tries to start talking, I don't like that. Countdown for all guests. Let's do the countdown for all guests. Let's try this one, because this one's not working. Oh, okay, this one I can change the times. Let's see. Countdown for all, it says. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we need one more person to try it. Let's try guest showdown. You seen that one with the little ones? They have the little panels. It's like it's a smaller version of it. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
that,
I've seen it with
Miguel?
like nine on the side.
Yeah,
I saw one.
yeah. I don't know
I
which
saw one
one
just
that
today actually.
is.
9 on the side. I was tripping.
Choose a reference. Let's see this one. The playbook quickly. Let's see this playbook. Step 1: arrange ahead with a few guests. Yeah, I think it needs one more. So yeah, I'm gonna try this shit out. Back to fun kit. All right, view. Back to remove as preference. It's all so confusing. So confusing.
Maybe I hope somebody's like made like a tutorial of this shit. It would be easy if they did that.
You know what? They probably already have. That's what I should do. I should go on the TikTok and just see anybody that can explain it or YouTube it. You know. Big cat, big back. Come on up, man. We need a third. We need a third, brother.
Big back Cadillac.
Big back Cadillac. Give a dog a bone.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, man. I got to talk to an attorney today. I ran down to this tenant sanctuary place. It was like, I'm gonna have to file the appeal on my own, but I still need an attorney to go after that landlord. So I'm just my last option is to pay for a service where it's like a lawyer referral service, and it finds a lawyer for you, and they hear your case out for $50, and then when they look at your case, then they can be like, all right, well, this, I can take this on if they see that we can win, and I just need someone just to look over it and see what I see, So
You want to know what else you could do?
with
You could tie them up in mediation. You could submit your case to mediation. That will drag it out for like another 6 months.
Man, I wish that was an option with the unlawful detainer, because I'm already in the appeal process.
Yeah. Never mind.
They already ruled against me, but I thought, dude, the limited scope lawyer I had was talking about the mediation too, and he said that the judge would offer that, but the judge never offer that shit, man. So something's up, man. This landlord and this lawyer, this judge know each other, or he came to find out who he was because he's got a lot of pull in the city. He owns like 16 different he owns 6 different properties, and he's a legit slumlord. He's online. Everybody talks shit about him. I saw him on Facebook groups, and he did some racist fucking flyers talking about not wanting immigrants getting certain like housing rights and shit like that. So
what?
So yeah, man, I went down the rabbit hole on this motherfucker, but he found his karma. You know what I mean?
Has anybody mentioned a RESPA request or anything like that of the sort?
What is that?
A qualified RESPA request. Has anybody mentioned it? I'm wondering if the same thing goes for renting as in buying a house.
Yeah.
So a RESPA request is you request every single piece of documentation. Like that means all receipts for rental payments, mortgage payments, that type of shit. But if no one's mentioned it, maybe it's not applicable to renters.
I got you. What I do have is all the receipts that I paid, to him, because he's claiming I never paid rent. So, but again, we weren't in court over that. We were in court over him just wanting me out. So
yeah,
it's all convoluted. But the judge never wanted to look at any of my evidence. He just took his word and ran with it. What's up, Big Back? Yeah, it's great. I had the audio version. I'll share it to you sometime. What's up, Big Back? What's good, brother? How you been?
I've been good. What's the topic?
The topic is indigenous Africans, indigenous Americans, indigenous Mexicans or Caribbeans. What is your medicine? What is your ceremonies? Depending on what what you know so far, if you have any, what do your prayers look like? What are your creation stories? Do you have a dance? You hunt.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any indigenous practices,
Right.
basically?
Hmm. Um.
Right. In your culture,
No,
you
I
know.
don't. I don't know. I just know for me, and like in terms of like spirituality, I guess. Most of because I'm Black American or African American, most of the traditions I have stem from Christianity. So because my most of my people are Christian, so um as far as like
Right.
indigenous, I don't know. I don't see any of it. I wouldn't know. Um I do know that um I do know that like um I do know that when people talk about religion, they do mention that hoodoo is sometimes mixed in with some of our Pentecostal beliefs in the South. Um, but that's all I would really know. I don't know anything about indigenous African or indigenous American, but yeah, I wouldn't know.
I hear you. Yeah, and you're right. There's probably like a good blend of a lot of things that are in Christianity now. Same with Islam. There's a lot of traditional stuff going on that they mix in. We just don't know. We can't really point it out. You know, the hoodoo thing. I have heard of that, and I have heard it from somebody else that was specializes in that. So, what denomination are you from, Big Back, in Christianity?
Well, I'm not a Christian anymore, but I was raised Church of God in Christ, which is it's a predominantly African American denomination.
Okay, nice. And what state is this?
Church of God in Christ it's all in America. It's a historical black you should look it up, but it's a historical black denomination.
Okay.
You know how some people are
Awesome.
Baptists? We're yeah,
Right.
kind of like yeah, we're Pentecostal, but it's
Awesome.
we're in every state in America, and it's I think we're about 10 million strong. So yeah,
Awesome. I grew up Catholic, so but I'm not anymore. You know, my mom's still devout Catholic and still goes to church every Sunday. And I mean, I
right.
feel like she's hanging on to something. You know, hanging on. She didn't change so many different churches. There's
Hmm.
something. I don't know if it's the pastors that change or like the people that are there, but like, there's some kind of drama always, and she ends up
Or
switching up.
maybe Or maybe
Hmm.
it's just that, okay, so um my grandmother was the same way. And my grandmother used to switch up churches all the time. And my grandmother passed 5 years ago, but what I did notice is that she was having a spiritual awakening and that she was breaking away from the mainstream religion. So I don't know. Maybe it could be her spirit or something trying to tell her that maybe that's not the place she's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, and that yeah, maybe that's the case with my mom too. Maybe she just wants to explore. You know, there's nothing bad with exploring. You know, back in the day,
Right.
if you left the church that you belonged to, you'd be outcasted. You know, exiled,
Right. Right.
and you lose your community. You know, but nowadays we have more flexibility. You know, to go pick how we want to worship and all that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I grew up as like an altar boy. You know, was baptized, did the whole Christian first communion, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I remember being in those churches and just being like, "What is this about?" You know, like how am I gonna? How am I? It was too much. I think it was a little too much when I was younger. Even though
Yeah.
it was all I was surrounded by my family and surrounded by community, I still felt like the oddball out. Um, but
Yeah.
that followed me even into school, so I can't tell if it was just something within me, or like what was going on around me that was fishy, you know?
Right. Yeah. So for
What
me,
what
that's
made you stop going to church? Yeah. Go.
So I was raised Kojic. I was raised Church of God in Christ, and then when I came into high school, that's when I began to actually read the Bible, and I began to realize that there were certain things in the religion that didn't make sense and didn't align with the Bible. And then, so have you heard of the Hebrew Israelites?
Yeah.
So I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, but
Yes.
when I was younger, I had crossed paths with them, and they kind of they made more sense, and they were able to actually point to actual beliefs in the scripture that didn't align with the religion. So that's when I began to realize, I'm like, okay, so what am I really practicing if the religion isn't aligned with the sacred text that it's supposed to be? So that's when I really just started to read the Bible, and I just kind of made the decision that this was just not it. Um, when we talk about like African spirituality, one of the things that always turned me off was just how how demonized Black people's spiritual practices are. Like, I mean, anything associated with African or Blackness is automatically demonetized, but yet the religion of our oppressors is glamorized as the truth and the way. And to me, that didn't make sense, because as much as people like to go for African spirituality or voodoo or Santeria, we can go back and look at all the atrocities, and more than likely it's either a Muslim or a Christian. So that just kind of, I just learned to think for myself, and then eventually I am where I am now. So I'm spiritual. Like, I still believe in prayer. I still, believe in certain universal basic principles. Like, I believe in, like, doing good works, karma. I still, angels, demons, but I don't know. I don't have like a religion per se, but I'm still very spiritual.
No doubt. Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. I think you're right though. Like, as soon as I saw a white Jesus and then I saw the Black Jesus, I was like, oh, whoa, something's going on here. Straight up whitewashing. And you're right. I love seeing some of those Hebrew Israelites, or those one people that, like, how the what are they called? Those people that come knocking on your door, Jehovah Witnesses. I've seen videos of, like, people that know the Bible and point shit out to them, while they're there trying to spread the gospel. You have people that are
Right.
spiritual and that have read the book and can uncode it and point at specific things to be like, look, you didn't read it like this. You got to read it like this, right? Or you got to make,
Right.
you got to connect the dots like this, and then you see that this book, it can show you the truth. You got to have the right lens to decode it,
Yeah,
So
because the Hebrew Israelites were the ones who pointed out that, in the Bible it says that Jesus was hung on a tree. It doesn't say that he was nailed to a cross. That's two
hell no.
contradicting stories.
It does say hung on a tree. Is that for real?
Yeah, it does. It says hung. It says, here. Let me find the scriptures for you. But it says,
What?
yeah, he was hung on a tree. Give me 1 second.
That's wild.
Multiple verses.
Yeah. Take your time.
So,
Take your time.
Does it- can-
Niguel, you wanted to
can-
show something? I saw a big Anamita.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to show where the image of the cross came from.
All right.
This is a book by John Allegro, there was 3 people in the entire planet when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls that could decipher the text. And 2 of them were priests, and 1 of them was agnostic, and that was John Allegro. So when they hired him, he had translated his parts of the sacred scrolls very quickly and wanted to publish his works, but they didn't allow him. They suppressed that information. So this book right here, the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, is one of the most eye-opening texts. It's not a very big book, but it is a very enlightening book. But when you say like when he wasn't hung on the cross, this is an example of where that cross came from. So anytime you see Jesus on the cross, he always has a little skirt that's around his waist and a crown of thorns. And if you take the cross section of this particular mushroom, or just look at it from the side section, that skirt that comes off is actually called the circumcision of the mushroom. So it grows as a bulbous type of a phallic shape, and then it's actually called the circumcision. So that this is also where the myth of the taking of a rib comes from the man Adam for Eve. So the growth cycle is what's interesting about the specific mushroom called the Amanita muscaria, and what John Allegro found in the Dead Sea Scrolls was a lot of references to these cults that were being practiced, so-called existence of Jesus. So he actually found that there was a Messiah previous to the birth and life of the Jesus character, but that the entire story is a mythology associated with astrotheology, to where sacred celestial movements in the sky, planetary movements and alignments, were written in allegory in the what is known as the Bible today. I think you'd find this next one really interesting. This is a documentary I have on my channel on BitChute. That right there is called the Pharmacratic. Oh, you got me, Vibes? This particular documentary is extremely enlightening. You there, Vibes?
Is it on your profile?
I have sections of it that are on my profile. Yes, I could tag you if you'd like me to point them out specifically for you.
Yes, please.
Where it gives reference to why we. So you were talking about. I too felt the same way when it came to the practices of Christianity and how they demonized all other than white people. You know. Yeah. But when I found this particular documentary, I was amazed and started to see all the references that we practice, like right now. We're about to go into the practices of the Christ or Christ Mass. So the Amanita muscaria is directly associated with the Christ Mass, and the shaman of the Tungus people of Siberia. This is all rituals that he practiced that are associated with the tree, with the presence below the tree. So the growth cycle of this specific mushroom, it's represented as red and white. Everyone knows about it. It's red cap, white dots, white stem, and it grows beneath a pine tree or the evergreen tree, and it's typically in the Northwest. So if you notice that when we practice Christmas, we actually go out and grab trees, we cut them down, put them in our homes, and then we place presents underneath the tree that are typically red and white. So this is representative of the mushroom that grows beneath the tree in a symbiotic relationship with the tree. It is also correlated with the Easter. I've always wondered, what the hell does Easter have to do with chocolate and eggs? You know what I'm saying? And the birth of Christ. I'm like, you start to, in this documentary, you'll find out that the Easter egg hunt is directly associated with shamans and children going out looking for these mushrooms that also grow egg-like in they don't grow in a fully erect state. They're like little eggs under the ground that children go out and hunt for them. So in the particular Christmas one, the Amanita muscaria shaman, he would go out and pick these mushrooms and put them in a bag, but they to prevent them from mushing down into one solid mass, he would hang the mushrooms in the boughs of the trees branches so that they would dry out in the sun, which is a direct representation of the Christmas ornaments that we put on the tree. Typically, the oldest ornaments that we've ever found in human history are red and white, and they are direct representations of that mushroom.
Interesting.
So then he would go home to his house after he picked mushrooms for the yearly ceremonial event with his village, and he would go home on his sled that were pulled by caribou, commonly known as reindeer, where he would go to his home, and sometimes it would have snowed his home in, so he'd have to climb onto his rooftop and climb down his smoke hole, commonly known as a chimney, to go into his own home, where he would then sometimes hang mushrooms in socks over the fire, which is also what we still practice today. So
Yeah,
I'll point you in the direction of these. I don't have the entire documentary on my channel, but I could. This is if you look up my name, the Nahual, on BitChute channel, you can find my account and you'll find this exact reference. This is off of my channel on there. I could also point you in that direction as well. Give it to you in DMs if you'd like. But I highly recommend the entire documentary because it is the most enlightening documentary regarding religion that I've ever found in my life, and I've seen pretty much all of them.
And Big Back, you got to remember when they encountered indigenous people, you know, they not only made them stop practicing their languages and culture and traditions, they also demonized their medicines, right? So a lot of these medicines, these herbs or these mushrooms, or, you know, this is what helped people heal. This is what helped people see. I mean, right now we call it like psychedelics, and we, you know, we have this whole hippie reference to it, and getting fucked up and getting high, but not realizing that these are some of the things that people need to see to believe in, and some of the things that they believe in. Like where did these people see all these things that they say from the sky? And so there, we have to understand there's a spiritual realm too, you know, that we're not in tune with. You know, some people can get there naturally with meditation and deep thought or whatnot, and then there's a shortcut too, you know, and it's these medicines, man. But it has to be done in the right setting. It has to be done by a shaman. It has to be done by a priest, right? And not in the priest that we know him today. But here's a little reference of like what. And he was giving I mean, it's not an allegory story, but it is a legit story from shamans who we get our traditions from Christmas from, you know.
I was actually looking for these pictures.
Here you can see the Pope, and you can see priests, like how they wear their gowns, you know, how they wear in representation of that Amanita muscaria. So there's two different mushrooms. There's the psilocybin, and then there's the red mushroom, which is they call it the Mario mushroom, right? And so, yeah, you can definitely see the symbolism within it. You can see the whole cross thing was fascinating. And even when the mushroom at the last stage of it, Nagwal, it turns into a cup, like the Holy Grail. Yes. You know, because it goes right up. That thing's fast, and then it like collects water when it rains.
Right.
So there's so much civilization,
but again,
Christ. Yeah, the flesh of Christ. A lot of people think that
flesh, yes.
if you're a vegan and you want the best tasting kind of, if you want something similar to meat, they always tell you to go for mushrooms. Mushrooms has that texture of meat. So even vegans have like lion's mane mushroom and other mushrooms that kind of mimic how meat tastes. Not even how meat, the texture of meat. So, you know, you spice it up, you season it, and then it has the same texture. It's a lot of people that ate meat that have turned into vegan, and they want other options, other alternatives to meat. So so it just shows you like the flesh of Christ, or this eating the flesh of Christ, you know, because it has that texture in it as well. The mushroom, the actual mushroom. So, but what we don't understand is that everybody has their own. There's so many species of mushrooms. So think about all the indigenous people all across America, all across Africa continent. They all have their own speciality in remember, some mushrooms are poisonous. You can't just eat any mushroom. These things need to be researched, and people that know how to read plants, they say that the plants talk to them, right? The plants tell them. We have a symbiotic relationship with these plants, you know. So there's some communication, but we can't see it because we're not in those realms. We can't start to even understand it if we're not ingesting these and practicing how to use these, you know. So I didn't see this conversation going this way, Nagwal, but thank you for bringing it this way.
Yeah. I mean, I like when you said that you were an altar boy. I was also an altar boy for like 5 or 6 years. and I had held the dish under the people's, chin to gather any crumbs that came from the body of Christ, and also if they dropped any drops of the blood of Christ. And luckily for me, Big Back, I was like, all the mass I went to for like 8 years was in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish, so I didn't really receive that indoctrination, even though I was literally holding the Bible on my head for the priest to read. But later as I grew up and I started. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Nicole. Sorry.
I was as I grew up and I started to explore and research and verify what I was practicing, I then began to see its correlation to what I had ingested at 10 years old. The first time I ever did mushrooms was 10 years old, and I didn't see its relation to my own personal spiritual practices. I'm a Nahual, which is commonly known as a shaman, but only the Tungus people of Siberia can be shaman. That is their cultural position and term. So I learned that people over here on these lands, which I'm related to, the Toltec, they have what's called the Nahual, which is a common cultural position that is known as like a spiritual guide of whatever community they live in.
Yeah.
Right. I was just gonna add too that. I was just gonna let me just add this. I was Big Back. I was literally holding up red wine, serving it to adults at the age of 9. I was serving that drink. I was serving that drink at 9 in the church. Go ahead, Big Back.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say I put the verses in the comment section.
Oh, the verses. That's right.
Oh, duh.
Okay. Let me. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna screenshot that. I'm gonna go look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot it as well.
Yeah,
because that's very interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, and
I mean, if you think about it, it was the Romans. It was the Romans that put him on a cross, right? So we don't. They whitewashed everything, and they used that story for their own best interest. So I can definitely believe that. I just hope I don't see Jesus on a tree, like hanging from a tree, like we see brothers and sisters being hung by trees. Yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Have you ever experimented, Big Back, with these type of plants?
I've been so I actually just recently bought lion's mane.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Lion's mane. So I just recently bought some because I follow this neuroscientist called Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, and he was talking about how it's been proven that when you consume lion's mane mushrooms, it actually causes neuroneogenesis. That's why I actually just bought some.
Yeah, it readjusts the neural network pathways and reconnects to ancestral memories.
Yeah. So, but like the magic mushrooms, I haven't. But no, you're definitely gonna start taking that lion's mane mushroom and see what happens.
Yeah, that's a great little mushroom. That's also one that's used for a lot of the meat substitutes because of its texture.
Yes. I've tried it. I've done it myself, and it's Paul Stamets. 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 He has a documentary called Fantastic Fungi. It's on Netflix, and he talks about his experience. He had Tourette. He didn't have Tourette's. He had a stuttering issue, and even that helped him. He helped him with the stuttering. I wish I would have taken mushrooms when I was 10 years old. I swear to God, because I had a lot of problems even speaking English. Like I spoke Spanish, but like same thing. Like I wasn't really like. Language? Yeah, Spanish is my first language, but I struggled even then, But I got interrupted I was put in special ed, and that really kind of fucked with me about what I was capable to do, So Spanish was not demonized, but it wasn't like you'd be put in special ed if you spoke Spanish. They didn't have an ESL, But I'm saying if I would have had someone to teach me about whatever I spoke, whether it be Spanish, but I didn't learn how to speak English until I got to high school. That's how much I struggled with English. And now I sound like a full-fledged white man, And I'm just like, Why? Why? And I think a lot of that is part of a simulation. Like we're forced to do things in the way that so whatever whatever happened, I came to a point where I was like I transitioned like the way I was supposed to transition, even though it's not like it's not anything natural, but um so yeah, so just to go back to what you're saying, Nicole, I wish I was introduced to that medicine earlier, because then later on when I took it, maybe like after high school, I was in college, I think, and everything started making a lot more sense, about how I grew up, why I went through that experience, and what it taught me. Going through that experience taught me a lot. I got to see people in a different light, from the actual people that had physical disabilities to the people that we so-called normies or normal people, um, how people view each other, and how people communicate with one another, so later on it was helpful to see that, but it took a lot of unpacking. It took a lot of arguments with like family members. My mom, I had a big issue with my mom for a long time. I didn't grow up with my father, so I had that whole side of me missing too. So there was
Likewise.
just a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things I had to catch up, but I feel like the medicine did help me like redirect that. And mind you, I haven't done mushrooms for like a whole year, but every time I talk about it reminds me of that experience. It's very it's very lasting, that experience. Um, and you really just do it when you really need it. The mushroom kind of finds you.
I would
you
say
know
that's
So one thing,
exactly
one
it.
thing that I also heard about the benefits of mushrooms is they actually have melanin in them, and
Right.
if you leave them in the sun, they said that it increases the melanin in it and helps with vitamin D. So that was another thing that I had saw and heard about, and I was very interested in hearing about
Yeah.
and trying.
Whenever they dry, it's called decarboxylation, and it will actually strengthen the potency of whatever attributes are associated with that specific genus of mushroom. So you're definitely on the right path.
Oh yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
May I ask your age, Big Mac?
Oh,
I'm 26.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you're catching it early.
yeah, and when we're talking about the opening up the third eye and the pineal gland, I think that this is all very close to that. Almost
Yeah,
unlocking
but the
some
best thing
some
for that is the
dormant
sun, isn't it?
dormant some dormant ass shit that we've kept. When we don't use when we atrophy some part of our body that we don't use. You know, what'd you ask, Big Back?
No, I'm sorry. You can finish.
No, no, no. I was just saying that. I was just saying like that, whatever that is, because in reptiles, it's like, in reptiles, that little pineal gland has a cornea, a retina, and it has every characteristic of another fucking eyeball.
Yeah,
And in
but it's
humans,
not.
it's like, yeah, uh huh,
But I also I saw on different platforms that it's not it's most active in black people, in Negroid people. It's not really active in people who are white or who are
right.
non-melanated.
Yeah, it's calcified.
Right.
That's what I've heard. I can't really prove it, but this
Right,
is
that's what
something
I'm
I've heard.
saying.
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
that, yeah,
Um,
but I do, if you
mhm.
you know, if you do look at one thing that I do know is when you look at black people, we we tend to have a connection to the spirit realm. So if you look at the top atheist countries, you'll get a whole bunch of white countries and East Asian countries. And if you look at black people, even if we may not be a part of organized religion, we're still the people who still tend to have a certain knowing of the spiritual realm. So that to me kind of really made me believe into the whole pineal thing. Even though I haven't researched it, to me I just think that just aligns with what I know about black people. And we tend to typically have like a knowing, like certain spiritual principles are very universal in our people.
Correct. I
Yeah,
would say
that's
that
facts.
the
Oh,
spiritual
we're
realm is,
connected to the
I would say,
source. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Nicole.
yeah, I would say that the spiritual realm is basically the electromagnetic properties, bioelectrics that exist all around us. And when it comes to melanin, we have melanated people our chemical makeup is more selenium based, which is a high conductor of electricity.
I heard that.
And YT people are more sulfur based, which is not as well of a conductor for electricity. So they would probably seek more outside sources for that conductivity. But yes, you're correct in your assumption, and your assertion is definitely backed by science as well.
And I heard that. I heard that we're selenium based. I heard that Black people are supposed to be eating Brazil nuts to get that selenium. So
That is a good source.
person to say that for me to hear that. I got to start double checking and actually doing my own research. But yeah,
all my research was basically spawned. Like I said, I'm a practicing Nahual, and once I began, I've been practicing with the plant. In 2009, I began my initiation, which was a complete state of isolation with me and my plant, mushrooms, where I would take 2 grams at night, 2 grams in the morning for every day for 3 years. And that was the beginning of my research and writing and practice or exploratory practices with a physical attribute of my practice, which is like a workout system. But all of this was conducive to building an ancestral relationship back to what our memory is. A lot of what we are taught now, we're taught stuff. So we're assumed that we know nothing, and we go into schools and we learn that stuff, which is actually antithesis to how we used to remember. I would say that we remember ourselves through plants, and that they're the actual source of knowledge rather than some books or stuff like that. They're experimentation and exploratory events that have been always symbiotic with our relationship to plants.
That's very interesting. I gotta go. I'm gonna come back up on here, but I gotta go to the store.
Cool, Black. It's good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear more about what you have to say. So I followed you, and I'm gonna be looking out for you whenever you go on these panels, because I'm definitely interested in hearing more what you have to say.
Well, man, appreciate it, family. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'll be on here later, Vibes.
That was a big ass mushroom, Vibes. Oh, damn, that's a cap. No cap. Who else we got up here? No more W5. No more dummy. I like that handle. I was having this thing about people calling me stupid or dumb, and I'm like, when did it become a bad thing to be dumb or stupid? I would just call it unaware. But it's like, if you own your unawareness, then you have a lot to remember, or you have more space open to gain new knowledge. Somehow, somewhere in history, that became a negative association, like as though being dumb is like terrible or something. But if you already know everything, then what is there to learn, or rather remember?
Oh shit! I was muted this whole goddamn time. I was talking this whole damn time and I was muted.
Oh shit!
Sorry. I was like, what up? I thought you were talking to me this whole time. I thought we were having like a conversation, but I've been talking to myself the whole time. No, I was like, the first thing I said was like, what do you know about these African mushrooms, Nicole?
I've never seen those before. This is huge.
Now, I don't know if these are psychedelics or they're just like edible mushrooms. I have no idea.
Yeah, I doubt they'd be psychedelics, or I'd have heard of them already.
But what was I gonna say? Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like people that hate on people that don't know shit. You know, being a wise man is almost playing a fool. You know, you got to play a fool to see where people are at sometimes. So not because somebody says that they don't know or that they, it's not a time to demonize them because they don't know. It's like sometimes people act stupid so they can get more information. Those are the wise people. Because
Yeah,
if you act like
shamans
you know it all, what is there else to show you? What is there else to teach you if you know it all?
exactly. Shamans have always typically been cast as the clown of the tribe, and that's because of that specific reason. It's like
Yeah,
I
and
often,
loquito.
yeah, or what's it called? What's the in Spanish clown?
Payaso.
Payaso. Thank you, man. Jeez. Yeah, the payaso. I mean, that even in the aristocratic era, the king always had a gesture of some sort, and that person was often most attributed to teaching the king himself because he was granted that privilege. He was known as that position, and so instead of the king offing him or unaliving them as he would anybody else that disagreed with him, the clown found a way to convey that specific lesson or message in a delightful kind of a comedian type of way.
Right. Well, it was the jester, right, or something shit like that. So the jester had the and yeah, they had to not get slaughtered. They had to entertain him somehow, some way, and maybe they provided magic, or like maybe they provided some kind of entertainment, at the end of the day, for the king. But it probably was a lot deeper than that too, because I don't know. I think the king, right? He gets to rule over everything, and then he invites all these native people in to see if they get to die under the sword or to get unalived, or I might be able to use you in some way.
Exactly.
So they had to show their powers or their magic. But yeah, that's very interesting.
What?
Well, because do you think someone on medicine can teach someone that's not on medicine? Can you show them something even in your state? Like even in your state where they can't see what you see, but you can still kind of like, I don't know,
yeah.
You're in an altered state where you can actually show them something that they would not believe,
No, I've showed people all the time. Like my favorite is the person that comes to me. They're like, my mind's not manipulated. They couldn't happen to me. And then I immediately go into a lesson that through linguistics, where I've showed people like,
oh yeah,
I told you about the poem. When I say poem, people automatically assume POEM when mine's POHM. And that's yeah, that's a real quick lesson to show
what
a
did you
person
mean by it
we are
again?
manipulated. Well, when I say, so through practice with mushrooms, because of my initiation, I've now gone through a cycle of awareness or practice and remembrance, where I've learned the properties of the linguistics that we've been indoctrinated with, and now I've deconstructed them in order to show people how it is a means of manipulation. So when I say poem, the person listening, because of their limited comprehension of linguistics, they're going to extrapolate the singularity of that expression. But when I tell them, look, when I said poem, you understood POEM when I was saying POHM, which is the sound of the universe. So there's a cyclical phonetics that I'm expressing, but because they're limited in their comprehension, they'll only extrapolate that one interpretation, when mine is a cyclical expression, which has multiple interpretations under one expression phonetically.
Yeah, it's almost like syntax or like a hieroglyph.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because like a lot of people that are going to look at I can't even say the word hieroglyph. They're going to look at it and they're not going to extrapolate anything. They're just going to look at the face value, surface level interpretation.
Exactly. They'll see an eagle and they'll get that one thing. Okay, it's an eagle, but it's like, no, that means a vision of sight from a high place. So you have a wide scope of awareness.
Right. Heru.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Kalindi? Remember? Did I tell you about Kalindi?
No.
He was the African martial artist.
No.
Oh, bro. So he passed away not too long ago, but he was part of these like Terrence McKenna kind of shows. But it was later on, not like the earlier stages of Terrence McKenna. And I think there was conventions and stuff like that people would share this information. So he talks about he talks about warfare in Africa and traditional martial artists. And he's talking about all these psychedelics that these martial artists would take when they were in warfare. And so he talks about it, right? He talks about what he did with this tribe and what he did with that tribe and what psychedelics did he take with this tribe and what arose from those interactions. And then he talks about like the Egyptian hieroglyphs, and he talks about how, kind of like the brother Big Back was saying, like how African people, with all the melanin that they have, that they can naturally produce what's in like psilocybin, or they can naturally produce whatever comes out of the third eye. But there has to be there's a way to do it. You know, you can't just like, there has to be meditation involved, and there has to be like you have to be in these dark spaces, right? You have to be like all black, like in darkness to kind of like to activate what's in your skin, or to activate your pineal gland. So he was talking about these sessions that they would have like in all darkness for like 2 or 3 or 4 fucking days and nothing but complete darkness. And then later on, they would be able to see in the dark, and how their pineal gland would get activated.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I first began my practice, I didn't understand what was happening. I was just listening to my mushrooms. So I had a condo, and I covered every single window to where it was darkness constantly. So what you're describing is exactly what I did unknowingly, until I started researching and finding out that in a regular indigenous culture, people would see the shaman be like in the initiation stage, and he would start doing crazy stuff, and they'd be like, oh shit, he's going through his thing right now, you know. So they would understand that he was most likely going to take off into a cave and go with his plant,
right,
and where he would learn their language. And then I was like, it started dawning on me, I was like, this is exactly what I've done. Like I didn't understand it, but I looked all around my place, and I was like, I'm in complete darkness with candles, and I'm exercising and experimenting with this knowledge that I'm receiving from my plants. So I had actually like caught up to what I was doing, not understanding while I was in the practice of it myself. So yes, and I was actually working on a martial arts program as well that I was getting from the mushrooms as like likewise. So yeah, you just described exactly what my practice was at the beginning.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. And you're going to love this guy. He's got a bunch of different seminars and a bunch of different, he's got some old school fucking videos of him. Almost like a Bobby Hemmett, or like almost like a what's it called? Like Taj.
Oh yeah.
That homie.
Taj
Right. But he's, yeah. But he kind of like in those settings, you know, back in the day, you could tell like he was one of those dudes, but he specialized in the martial arts, but also the psilocybin mushroom. So he's the first guy to talk about how we should be taking these heroic doses, like more than 5 grams, dog.
Yeah.
and how it helped him just get there quicker, you know? Fuck all the bullshit. You wanna take so many mushrooms that you're just stuck. Like you can't move, you know? Because it's like sometimes when you're microdose, not even microdosing, because that's different, but like somewhere in between the microdose and 5 grams, it can get kind of slippery, you know, and people want to get up and move around, and it could be a hazard, you know, especially if you're doing it at raves, or like you're doing it at these social events where you're not supposed to be doing it like that, you know. And so he's all about like taking the
The last dose I took of LSD was 220 hits. I drank a whole bottle of liquid.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like,
wow.
That was the last time I did it.
say like the ratio to body weight ratio to the mushrooms is they did the LD50. You know what that is?
Yep.
So it's an experiment that they do with rats where they see how much mushrooms can they ingest without dying. You know, and you got to eat over your body weight of mushrooms to die. And they've only done this experiment with rats. So this is the LD50 rate, the life to death ratio or something. And so, he's adamant about you can take as many mushrooms as you want, you know, just to make sure it's not over your body weight. And you're perfectly fine, you know, and you can go into those deep kind of realms, you know, kind of like what you do with DMT, you know.
Well, remember I told you that with my plug, I was buying, a pound at a time every like 2 months, and she was like, "Well, you must be moving these pretty quick. You must be making a good penny off them." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Because you've been buying so many." And I was like, "No." She's like, "You taking all of this?" I was like, "Yeah." I was picking a pound up probably every 2 months for 3 years. So that was like, I was getting up there, not my full body weight at one time, but I was taking quite a lot for an extensive time, you know?
Right. Yeah. She's like, "Who are you selling these to?" You're like, "Nope, it's just me."
She couldn't believe it because, most people would think, yeah, you're probably trying to make money off it. But I was like, no, this is all just me.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me of some lady I worked with too. Okay, big. She was up here in the boonies where I live, and she would serve all these like high class people. Like, you'd be surprised how people do this in secret, you know?
Oh, I know.
Well, successful people like the Silicon Valley is known. All those tech motherfuckers are known to be microdosing and shit before they go to work, just to make their output a lot better, you know.
Fact.
But yeah, so Kalindi, he would talk about that. He would talk about macro doses, like heroic doses. He's the first one I heard that would talk about it like the way he talks about it. But more importantly, bro, he'd be talking and how ancient people were able to store this information that they got from those realms and store it in mandalas and store it in artwork. Oh, so that's why I was leading into this. So he was talking about how. Okay, so he was talking about hieroglyphs, right? And how. So he's like, once you were in that state, you would look at the hieroglyphs, and you will see that the images on the walls will pop out and tell a story. Like literally, it's like the 3D becomes the 5D or some shit like that, you know? And how they literally come off the. Like a pop-up, but like what were those books called? Because that's the only. It was called. Remember Magic Eye? You look at a mirage or something, and then you'd put your eyes up to it, and then you'd focus back, and then something would pop up 3D, and you'd have to like cross your eyes, you know.
The 3D graphic or printed art. Shit, I got fucking.
Let me restart this live just to get the algorithm going. Niguel, I'll invite you back up.
Word.
Niguel? All right.